My family loves him. They'll never accept you. I can't choose you over them," she said, choosing their approval over me. So I moved on in silence. Now she's miserable, begging for another chance, and they call me daily to complain about the monster they forced on her. But I don't care anymore. Hey viewers, before we move on to the video, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button if you want to see more stories like this. Thanks. Reddit, I never thought I'd be posting here, but 2 years after my ex dumped me for her family's approved guy, she's blowing up my phone. Buckle up, this one's a doozy. I'm writing this mostly to get it off my chest, and maybe to warn anyone else dealing with family interference in their relationship. Names changed for obvious reasons, but the story's real. Let's call me Alex, her Emily, and the golden boy David. I met Emily back in college, about 6 years ago. I was studying engineering on a full scholarship, coming from a working-class family. My dad was a mechanic, mom a teacher, nothing fancy but solid. Emily was from old money, the kind with a family estate and trust funds. We clicked in a literature class. She was smart, funny, and didn't seem to care about the differences. At first, it was great. We'd study together, go on cheap dates to food trucks or hikes, and talk about building a future. I fell hard because she made me feel like I belonged, like my background wasn't a barrier. But her family? They never hid their disapproval. From the first holiday dinner at their sprawling house outside the city, it was clear I wasn't one of them. Her mom, Mrs. Thompson, would make these passive-aggressive jabs. "Oh, Alex, how quaint that you fix your own car. Our mechanic handles that for us." Her dad would grill me about my prospects, implying my engineering job at a mid-sized firm wasn't ambitious enough. And then there was David, the good family friend they'd been pushing on her since high school. He was from their circle, same private schools, same vacations in Europe. I'd hear about him in passing, like at family gatherings where he just happened to show up. I ignored it at first. Emily assured me it was nothing, that she chose me. We moved in together after graduation, into a cozy apartment in the city. I worked overtime to make ends meet, even turning down a promotion that required travel because Emily said she needed me around while she pursued her master's in art history, something her family partially funded, but I covered the rest with side gigs. Flashback to one rough patch. She was stressed about finals, so I pulled double shifts to pay for a weekend getaway, just us. She cried and said I was her rock. I believed it. But the family pressure never stopped. At every event, they'd seat David next to her, make inside jokes about old times. Mrs. Thompson once pulled me aside and said, "Emily needs someone who understands our world, dear. It's not personal." Emily would defend me weekly, but over time, I noticed her pulling away. She'd come home from family dinners distant, making little comparisons. "David's starting his own business. That's exciting, right?" Or, "My parents adore him. It makes things so easy." I felt like I was competing with a ghost, but I stayed loyal. I proposed after 4 years, a simple ring I saved for months to buy. She said yes, but the excitement faded fast. Her family barely acknowledged it, and the setups with David ramped up. I sacrificed a lot. Friends' weddings skipped for her family's obligations, holidays where I sat silently through their snubs. I thought love meant enduring that. Looking back, it was emotional abandonment from the start, chipping away at me until I felt like the backup plan. It all culminated last summer. We'd been engaged for 6 months, planning a small wedding, but her family insisted on hosting it at their estate, and paying only if it was up to their standards. That meant inviting David, of course. At a pre-wedding family brunch, things got tense. Mrs. Thompson toasted to finding the right match, eyeing David. Emily laughed it off, but later that week, she started canceling our plans, saying she needed space to think about family. I came home from work one evening to find Emily sitting on the couch, her bags half-packed. The air felt heavy, like she'd been rehearsing this. I set down my keys and asked what was wrong, trying to keep my voice steady. She looked up, not with tears or regret, but with this smug, resolved expression, like she'd already won some internal debate. "Alex, we need to talk," she said, folding her arms. "I've been thinking a lot about us, about the future. My family, they've made it clear they'll never fully accept you, and I can't keep fighting them. It's exhausting." I stood there, processing. "What are you saying, Emily? We're engaged. We've built a life here." She rolled her eyes slightly, like I was being dense. "Built a life? Come on, Alex. This apartment, your job, it's fine, but it's not what I grew up with. David, my family loves David. They've known him forever. He fits. They'll never accept you, no matter how hard you try. I can't choose you over my entire family. It's tearing me apart. Her words hit like a gut punch, but I didn't react. I just nodded slowly, feeling the confusion swirl. Tearing her apart? She didn't look torn. She looked relieved. So, David's the reason? All those setups weren't just coincidence. She laughed, a short, dismissive bark. Don't make this dramatic. It's not like I've been cheating or anything. But yeah, we've been talking more. He gets it. The pressure, the expectations. David is one of us. You'll always be an outsider. It's just easier this way. Why fight when I can have peace? Easier. That word stung the most. Our 4 years, my sacrifices, reduced to inconvenience. I wanted to ask why she'd said yes to the proposal, why she'd let me believe we had a future. But her tone was so cruel, so entitled, like I was a phase she'd outgrown. She stood up, grabbing a box from the floor. I deserve to be happy without all this conflict. My parents are right. Marrying outside our circle just complicates everything. David's starting that business with family backing. It's stable, connected. You're sweet, but let's be real. You don't fit in those dinners, those trips. It's awkward for everyone. I felt the unfairness burn, but I didn't beg or yell. If that's how you feel, then go, I said calmly, my voice even. Inside, I was reeling. How could she twist this into my fault? Her logic was so hypocritical, blaming her family while admitting she'd chosen ease over us. She paused, like she expected more fight, maybe tears to make her feel justified. You're not even going to argue? See, that's the problem. You're too passive. David would fight for what he wants. She shook her head, smirking. Anyway, I'll take my things. We can sort the lease later. Mom's already helping me move back home temporarily. Passive? For enduring their crap? I helped her pack the last box, handing it to her without a word. She looked surprised, maybe a flicker of doubt, but covered it with more smugness. Thanks. This is for the best. You'll find someone on your level. As she walked out, slamming the door, I stood in the silence. The apartment felt empty, echoing with her words. Outsider. Easier. I sank onto the couch, staring at the ring box she'd left on the table. Confusion hit hard. Had it all been a lie? The late nights I worked so she could study, the family events where I smiled through their disdain. It felt so undeserved, like I'd been played from the start. But I didn't call her, didn't text. I just sat with it, the betrayal sinking in like a slow poison. That night, I couldn't sleep. Her family's manipulation replayed in my head, their constant erosion of our relationship, turning her against me. Why wasn't I enough? The unfairness gnawed at me, but I refused to chase. If she wanted easy, she could have it. The days after Emily left blurred into a haze. I didn't blow up her phone or show up at her family's estate demanding answers. Instead, I detached. Completely. That first morning, I blocked her number, unfollowed her on everything, and started packing up the remnants of our life. The lease was in both names, but I called the landlord, explained the situation calmly, and arranged to break it early. I found a smaller place across town, nothing fancy, but mine. No drama, no scenes, just quiet action. Work became my anchor. I threw myself into it, taking that promotion I'd skipped before, the one with travel. It meant long hours, but it distracted from the ache. At night, alone in the new apartment, the confusion hit hardest. I'd replay her words. You'll always be an outsider. Why had I let myself be mistreated for so long? Flashback to our second Christmas together. I'd driven through a snowstorm to make her family's party, only to sit in the corner while they fawned over David's stories. Emily had barely spoken to me, later saying, "It's just how they are." I'd sacrificed my own family time for that, thinking it proved my commitment. Now, it felt like emotional abandonment, her family's disrespect seeping into our bond until it snapped. I sat with the unfairness for weeks. Mornings, I'd wake up questioning everything. Was I really not good enough because of where I came from? The silence amplified it. No calls from her, no apologies. Mutual friends reached out awkwardly. Heard about Emily and David. Sorry, man. I'd respond politely, it's fine, and change the subject. I didn't badmouth her, that wasn't me. Instead, I started hitting the gym, something I neglected for her schedule. Joined a hiking group, made new friends who didn't care about pedigrees. Slowly, the vulnerability faded. I realized this wasn't about my worth. It was their toxicity, her choice to bend to it. Months passed, and my internal voice shifted. From why me, to this freed me. I traveled for work, saw new cities, even started dating casually. No rush, just enjoying my own company. A year in, I got another promotion, bought a small house in the suburbs with a yard. It was simple, but earned. Flashback to a low point. Right after the breakup, I'd found an old photo of us hiking, her smiling like I was her world. I'd felt discarded, like a tool for her rebellion phase. But now, clarity hit. I'd been loyal to a fault, committed to someone who saw me as disposable. The betrayal still stung, but it fueled growth. I wasn't confused anymore. I was free. Emily faded into irrelevance. I heard through the grapevine she'd married David quickly, a lavish wedding at the estate. Good for her, I thought, without bitterness. I'd built something real on my terms. No more enduring snubs or manipulations. The silence I'd chosen became my strength. About a year and a half after the breakup, the karma started rolling in. I didn't seek it out. I wasn't stalking her profiles or anything, but word trickled through mutual acquaintances. One of our old college friends, Jake, ran into me at a networking event and spilled the beans over drinks. "Dude, Emily's marriage is a mess," he said. Apparently, once David had won her, the charm wore off fast. He'd quit his half-hearted job attempt, claiming the family connections would set him up for life. But instead of hustling, he lounged around their new place, expecting Emily to cook, clean, and handle everything while he played video games or golfed with buddies. It got worse. David started treating her family like his personal ATM. Mrs. Thompson complained to anyone who'd listen that he was entitled beyond belief, demanding they fund his business ideas that went nowhere. He'd rack up bills on trips, then guilt Emily into covering them with her inheritance scraps. Tension built. Family dinners turned into arguments, with David snapping at her dad over not supporting him enough. Emily, who'd chosen easy, was now stuck mediating, her life unraveling into resentment. She lost weight, looked exhausted in photos Jake showed me. Friends distanced themselves, tired of the drama. Her art history career stalled because she was too busy enabling him. Broke emotionally and starting to feel it financially, as the family's patience wore thin. It was ironic. The perfect fit, exposed as lazy and fake, discarding her efforts just like she'd discarded mine. I didn't gloat. It just confirmed I'd dodged a bullet. But damn, it felt like justice, earned through their own choices. Then came the attempts to crawl back. It started subtle, about 18 months post-breakup. I got a text from an unknown number. Hers, I realized later. "Hey Alex, it's Emily. Been thinking about old times. How are you?" I stared at it, feeling nothing but mild annoyance. No apology, just fishing. I didn't respond. A week later, another. "I miss our hikes. Life's been crazy. Coffee sometime." Ignored that too. Escalation hit with a call a month after. I let it go to voicemail. "Alex, pick up. I know you're there. Look, I made a mistake. The family stuff, it pressured me into something stupid. David's not who I thought. Can we talk? I need a friend right now." "Need a friend?" After calling me an outsider? Her voice had that manipulative edge, like she expected sympathy. I deleted it without replying. Power had flipped. She was desperate. I was detached. Then the friends got involved. Jake texted, "Emily asked me to reach out. She's really sorry, man. Says her mom pushed her too hard. Give her a chance." Toxic, guilting me like I owed her. I replied simply, "Not interested." He backed off, but another mutual, Sarah, called next. "Alex, she's falling apart. David treats her like crap, lazy, demanding. Her family's regretting everything. You're the stable one she needs. Come on, forgive and forget." Forgive? Her tone was unpleasant, pushy, like I was the villain for moving on. "Sarah, this isn't my problem," I said firmly. "Tell her to sort it with David." Click. Emily's next move, showing up at my office lobby, unannounced. I was heading out for lunch when I saw her, disheveled, with red eyes. "Alex, please, just 5 minutes." I stopped, kept my distance. "Emily, what are you doing here?" She stepped closer, voice cracking but laced with entitlement. "I screwed up. Big time. David, he's useless. Expects me to wait on him. Fights with my parents constantly. Mom hates him now, says he's draining us. I thought it'd be easy, but it's hell. You were good to me. Reliable. I see that now. Let's try again. I'll cut them off if I have to." Her hypocrisy shone through, blaming everyone else, twisting it like her betrayal was a minor glitch. No real remorse, just desperation for my stability. "You chose this," I said calmly, no emotion. "David was one of you. Easier, remember?" She She flushed, anger flickering. Don't throw that back. I was confused. Pressured. You're being cruel. Acting like you don't care after all we had. I don't. I replied evenly. This conversation's over. I walked past, leaving her fuming. Later texts turned nasty. Heartless jerk. You'll regret this. No one else will put up with your boring life. True colors out, smug to desperate to rage. Her family piled on next. A call from Mrs. Thompson herself. Alex dear, it's been too long. Emily's told me everything. We miss how you treated her. David's, well, a disappointment. Lazy, entitled. We should never have interfered. Unpleasant as ever, like they hadn't orchestrated it. Mrs. Thompson, why are you calling? She sighed dramatically. To make amends. Come over for dinner? We can talk sense into Emily together. Your family material, not him. Family material? Now. I almost laughed at the reversal. The final nail came a few weeks later, during my housewarming party. I'd invited work friends and new hiking buddies to my place. Nothing extravagant, but it felt like a milestone. Midway through, my phone rang. Mrs. Thompson again. I stepped outside for quiet. Alex, please listen, she started, voice pleading. David's gotten worse. He's refusing to work, spending our money like water. Fights every day. Emily's miserable. We all miss you. You were so steady, so kind. How can we fix this? I leaned against the railing, hearing laughter from inside. My life, thriving, peaceful. Hers, irrelevant. I'm sorry you're unhappy with the son-in-law you chose for yourselves, I said, calm and firm. It has nothing to do with me. Goodbye, she sputtered. But Alex, I hung up, blocked the number. No sympathy, no lingering care. She, and they, were powerless now, ghosts from a past I'd outgrown. I went back inside, toasted with friends, and didn't think about her again. If you're reading this, Emily, know I'm good. Really good. Without you. I've got a promotion, a home, people who value me for me. You're irrelevant to my happiness. I've built something real, on my own terms. Lesson learned. Never settle for being anyone's outsider. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. What do you think about this story? Share it in the comments.